to get funding or to win competitions. Okay, so the title, we are in the right room, ALP 103. Okay, elevator pitch. So using Ansar techniques. So my name is Ramesh Elias Zaidi. Okay, I'm the director for UTM Center for Student Innovation and Technology Entrepreneurship. Firstly, I would like to say thank you to everyone here for for spending your time to listen to my sharing. And the second one, I would like to say sorry to everyone because there's a glitch on the video. Okay, some of our video they couldn't. We try again. We will try again. It couldn't. What do you call? The sound was not really as expected. Okay, but we'll try again. Otherwise, what I will do, I will share the link to you, so you can. I will share the link. Of course, the slide I will share with you. I will share also the link to the video, and then later on you can watch it together. Okay, so that you won't miss the knowledge and information that I want to share. All right. Okay, so let's start. Okay, what is actually pitch? Okay, pitching. So I know I think many of you already know what is pitching. Okay, so when I started talking about pitching, okay, a lot of audience started to ask, hey, I know about pitching, but it's very much related to this specific instrument, which is a microphone. Okay, so and the audience normally people who wants to listen to people who are singing. Okay, so pitching is something that always been understood as related to singing. Okay, because there's a the word pitch is actually a measure of the what they call the frequency. Okay, over a second of some elements and so on. So in this case is sound, sound element. All right. So we are not going into that because otherwise we'll go to karaoke session and listen to everyone pitch. Okay. But today, okay, normally what I have in my pitching class is I like to get information from every audience is compulsory for them to actually share at least 1 minute, not at least, maximum 1 minute. More than 1 minute, we will stop you. Okay. So I'm not going to ask you to share, otherwise it will take. I don't know how many audience today. Just now I saw like around 30 over, 41, 40, 40, 40 audience. Okay, 41 audience including me. Okay, so it will take like nearly 1 hour. So I'm not going to do that. But what I want you to do, just a simple one. You can just put it in the chat box. Okay, in the chat box. What actually you would say? What are the content that you would say in your 1 minute pitch? Okay, can you type in? I want to see. What would you say in your 1 minute pitch? Okay. So quiet. Anyone? Okay, benefits. Okay, benefits. Dr. Aniza, right? Dr. Aniza, benefits of the product. Okay. Other than that, uniqueness of the product. Okay. Novelty, product features. Okay. The story, why, what, and how. Okay. Value for money. Later on, we have to copy all this chat. Okay. So that we can share with everyone. Quality compared to others. Okay. What is your uniqueness compared to others? Significance. Valuable for the customer, or specifically the value for the customer. Why buy your product? Okay, why you need to buy our product? Okay, so you imagine, we have so many here. We have the uniqueness, all you guys you have put here. novelty, product features, the story, why, what, and how. Okay, value for money, quality compared to others. There are so many. How can you put it? How can you put that in your 1 minute pitch? How can you put that in your 1 minute pitch? Okay, so it's very challenging. It's very challenging. So there are many structures. There are many structures. There are many approach available. Okay, even if you Google, you try to find the. I have with me. I have in my. I have another session, class session. We call it the value proposition and pitch. Even that one I recorded more than eight very structured and very considered as very influential way of delivering. Okay, so but we try very much. Okay, for this speech, for this exercise, this specific one, a 1 minute challenge. Okay, don't be surprised. Okay, when we do this exercise, there are also people who are only require 30 seconds to present. So they are not optimizing the time. Some of them go beyond. Okay, yes, like Professor Farul mentioned, like 3 minutes thesis. Okay, this is something very important because how long it takes for us to do our PhD? 3 years, okay, minimum 3 years, 3 to 4 years. How can we actually compress all this, whatever it is that we have in our thesis is very thick, and then we only present for 3 minutes. So I have one. I used to have last time. There's one of my PhD student. Her thesis is very very thick, and then she has actually presented a lot of the method. The method were really the contribution is more on the method, okay, and the methodology. So she also has problem in presenting. But later on, when I asked her to do this technique, she managed to streamline everything, and then on the methodology part she presented very well during her viva. Okay, so people get the understanding of it, but it took her I think 3 to 4 weeks just to focus on the presentation for the methodology. All right, so thank you guys for the input. If you look here, there are many keywords. Okay, there are many. Mentioned it's also appearing in this cloud. Okay, in this cloud. Okay, the value, the customer, okay, the differences, the offering, the unique proposition, value proposition, and so on. There are so many, but we have issue. Okay, if we couldn't actually explain, okay, that much in 1 minute. So today, what I want to share with you, okay, is how to actually develop pitching structure. Okay, so you have your structure. I will show you the structure. What idea that you have, you will put it properly, and then you can do it practice, and later on you can choose whether you want to make it for 1 minute or for maybe 4 to 5 minutes or maybe like 20 minutes speech. It's up to you. You can actually design that way. Okay, I will show it to you. But before that, let's try to watch this. I hope the sound will be okay. I hope if it's not okay, I will again, okay or not okay, I will share with you the link. Okay, let's try. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I've got a great idea for a business.
That's exciting. Tell me about it.
That links to volatile organic compounds causing carbon and wraps them in a nanotube coating.
That's a little confusing. Can you dumb it down for me?
Okay, before I proceed, can you hear the voice? Is it possible to hear the guy talk? No, okay. No, okay. All right. So it's okay. So I'm not going to play the whole thing. Okay. So I'm going to explain. So this guy is actually a very technical guy. Very, very technical guy. She's trying to actually explain to this lady, uh, a novel product that he developed, okay, from carbon. So I think some of you know about it lah. But and she keep on telling the lady about the uniqueness of the product and how the product can actually help but helping it is very difficult. For example, the carbon can be wrapped into a tube and so on. So not everyone actually wants to wrap their tube with the carbon and so on. So the lady asked many times, okay, you cannot actually present this way. You have to present like what they call your benefit to for the customer. Okay, so what happened? He still couldn't actually explain until the end. The lady left. Okay, so that is if you watch it, I think it's better. But later on, I will share with you the ni, the video. Okay, but what it's mentioned here, the conclusion for the video is actually whatever it is, if you couldn't actually Leo, you couldn't actually attract, okay, your customer through your value proposition, it's really tough to sell. Actually, frankly speaking, it's not only to sell, it's really tough even to hook them, not to sell, even to grab their attention. Okay, so we imagine if let's say we don't have a very good customer enticing value proposition, it's really very difficult to not only sell but even to penetrate the heart of the customer because they don't actually wants to listen to you. Okay, I'm talking when I say customer is general, it can go into investor, okay, it can go into a possible business partner or maybe some people who wants to collaborate with you, okay, in any way, either monetary or not monetary. So it's very useful to understand how to pitch. Okay. All right. So before that, let's define actually what is actually a pitch. Okay. I still remember last time I had this one session. Okay, I asked what is a pitch, and then there's a group of students who actually asked, "Oh, sir, I went to Pizza and then I saw this pitch. It's a pitch of Pepsi and Coke." I said, "No, that's another pitch." All right. So a pitch here means you must have a story. Okay, you must have a story, which is your story is to present your idea, okay, in a simple, which include clear benefit for audience, and it should be delivered in an engaging way. Okay, so this engaging way can be yeah, with a good intonation up and down. That's the pitch, up and down with a good intonation. Or you can start with some kind of hooking mechanism, eh? So we will go into that later. Okay, but the most important thing, whatever it is that you talk to your audience and so on, you must let them remember you, so you will be remembered. Okay, so sometimes I still okay, maybe I can share one story with you. When I did my PhD, I went to Japan to do my PhD. I don't know, I couldn't speak Japanese, but I went there. And then my office is usually at the sixth floor. We have seven floor, but my office is sixth floor. So there's one guy early in the morning around 7:30. I went to my office, and then this is really true, because it happens in an elevator. Okay, so the elevator opened. I went in, and then suddenly there's one guy came in too, and then this guy asked me question. Okay, he asked me in Japanese lah. He said, "Dona kenku desu ka?" Okay, okay. Dr. Ali made me know, Dona kenku desu. So I said, I don't understand. Actually, I don't understand. I said, sorry, I don't speak Japanese. I said, oh, what research are you doing? Ah, okay. Hi, Dr. Ali. Okay, what research are you doing? So I said, oh, okay. So the lift is actually going up. So I'm telling, I said, my research is where I crawl the internet. There are 57 countries which is selected in the OIC countries. We crawl the internet, we collect the pages, and then we actually do statistic for the language, the character encoding system, and the script that is used. And after we get this, and I was explaining, and then suddenly the elevator opened, and then the guy left. The guy left, I was like, oh my God, I'm so annoyed. Frankly speaking, I'm very annoyed. I said, and then that was in the fourth floor, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I was very annoyed. So of course, I proceed my elevator journey up to my sixth floor. So when I arrived at sixth floor, I was like, why this guy is not listening to me? At least when the door open, don't just get out from the elevator, just ask me to go out and listen. Okay, listen to what I'm saying. So and then I was actually I met my professor, and then I talked to my professor. Sensei, this one guy he actually came in from first floor, okay, the ground level until the fourth floor, and then he left even without listening to my explanation. And then my sensei said, "What did you explain?" So I explained the same way. They said, That's why the guy didn't want to listen." I said, "Why?" "Because you didn't actually tell the benefit. You are telling whatever it is, the process that you do." I said, "That's my research. I'm telling the research element. You should start with something. You should start with the problem. We should tell them what's the benefit out of it. Okay, what is actually the who are the beneficiary who will be getting it. Okay, you know about it. Why didn't you present it?" I said, okay, I didn't remember. Okay, I didn't remember. So do you know who was the guy? Who was the guy who entered the elevator? The guy is actually head of department of information engineering, head of empowerment of information engineering. So, and I was actually remembered. Frankly speaking, in my third year, I met this guy, and then this Professor Osato. So Professor Osato looked at me and said, yeah, I know you. I know you. Okay. I know you. You are the guy who tried to explain to me. Okay. I was like, yeah, Professor Sensei. I now I have a better explanation for what I explained. So as I put here, you will be remembered. But in what sense? You want people to remember you like me? That is not good. Okay. You want people to remember you like, wow, this guy is really good. He can actually tell very, very clear, even very precise, very accurate information in just 1 minute or maybe in just a few minutes that is allocated to him. Okay, so make sure you will be remembered in a way that what do you call a good one, not like me. Okay, all right. Okay, let's proceed. The other next. Okay, I'm I think this one. Let me. Uh, I just play it because there are keywords coming out. Okay, from the presentation. Okay, so just look at the keyword. The keyword is important here. All right. So, okay. So this is actually a talent director from AMV Group. So she actually mentioned about a few. Okay, hold on. Okay, he mentioned no matter who you wants to pitch to, okay, you must be very put it in a simple way and very convincing. Okay, so here are some of the points she mentioned. Okay, she's going into the elevator. Okay, literally going into the elevator. Okay, so it's should be a concise practice and overview. Okay, so it should be simple and memorable. Okay, so how to make it? That means you have to do a lot of practice. Okay, so why they call it elevator? Because it's from the ground floor until one of the floor where the guy will live. Okay, so the key ingredient should be okay. So you won't be able to say everything in just a short time. Okay, because if you tell everything, it will just confuse people and will annoy people. Okay, so you must have very important thing. What is most important things? Okay. Number one is why your product, why you are worth investing in. If you are talking to an investor or even if a purchaser. Okay. Number one is to identify the need. Always look at the need. Okay. So this need is always talking about what is the problem. Okay. So you have to have a couple of sentences which actually talk about need, the problem, and so on. And you will have to also explain the benefit and results when they are using your product. Number two, what is the unique selling proposition? Okay, so what actually so unique about your product? Okay, it's not all the features that you have. It's always about one or two key features that will impact specifically on the problem that you mentioned earlier, okay, in the needs. Okay, so try to make it simple and short and very focused. Okay, so these two are very important. Okay, problem and what the product can actually solve. Okay, very basic. Problem and what is their product try to solve. These two, if you can actually explain very well, it's really good. Okay, and the other one is there are several ground rules. Number one is keep it short. Okay, less is more. Okay. If you tell them more, they don't remember you. Okay. 30 seconds to 2 minutes will be the timeline that you should be thinking about. Don't tell them jargon. Okay. Use very, very simple words. Okay. So that people can understand easily. Okay. So number two, you have to believe in your own product. Okay. You have to believe in your own product. So if you believe in your own product, you will actually can explain better rather than by hearting the rules and so on. Okay. And the last one is always practice. Okay. So practice in front of a mirror. Okay. Practice so that you become very, we call it automatic. Automatically, you will actually say whatever it is that you wanted to say rather than you copy and by heart everything. Okay. Because once you can actually deliver in a, what do you call, in a natural way because it's your product. Okay, that is actually where people start to believe in it. All right. So there are also several tips that I read from Harvard Business Case Study regarding pitching. Okay. So pitch, it should be natural. You should be natural in natural lah. You should be very natural because some people they like to pitch up to the level that they are shouting. You know, like the voice, the amplitude of so high, and people start to get annoyed. It's like, hey, you want to fight with me? Something like that. So it's like that kind of too high elevated amplitude. So people start to get annoyed and they were like, oh, it's really, really, what they call, not natural at all, not natural anymore. Okay. So those are the tips. Okay. From the tips, I will actually share a few. Don't worry about, I think the lady speaks very fast because she's also in an elevator to show. Okay, so I will show you the pitch structure. This pitch structure, actually, I show you one by one. We call it ANSAR. Okay, it's actually a little bit modification from NABC. I think many of you heard about NABC. Anyone heard about NABC before? Okay, from SRI, Stanford Research Institute. Okay, in 2000 around 2010. UTM actually engaged with SRI, Stanford Research Institute. Okay, yes, Dr. Habibai. Okay, thank you. So, that's actually a proprietary. NABC is actually proprietary, owned by SRI, Stanford Research Institute. So, we in UTM Excite, we actually came out with our own. It's a little bit adaptation from there. Okay, but we try to make it unique. Okay. Yes, NABC for Dr. Rosita. Yes, NABC for patent application. Yes, that's correct. In Inocom, it's mentioned NABC. So here is actually similar to that. Okay, those who familiar with NABC, you can actually get the understanding faster. Okay. Anyway, here is the basic. I will show you. So we have ANSAR. So ANSAR, what is ANSAR? ANSAR Muhajirin? No, not that one. Okay, so it can be, okay, for your information, it can be this structure, this speech structure can be delivered if you want to for 1 minute, also can. You can use it for a usual pitch. Usual pitch is normally people do is a normal 4 to 5 minutes, sometimes 3 to 5 minutes for competition. Okay, very short, very concise one. Okay, not like elevator pitch. Elevator pitch is something that normally we don't have arrangement, pre-arrangement. Okay, we meet someone and people ask, like the lady mentioned, you should be natural. How to become natural? Practice. Once you practice, you will not be like me when I what they call presented explained to Osato Sensei. I couldn't explain because it's not. I'm not. I don't fully. I haven't fully digested it yet. Okay, so try to digest lah, and then once you digest very well, practice and so on, you can actually make it natural. Okay, so the other one is detailed pitch, 15 to 20 minutes. This structure can be used for all of this. It's just a matter of how much or how comprehensive is the content. Okay, so I'm going to show each of it, ANSARS, until finish. What's the time now? Okay, 9:38. Okay, until finish, and later on uh, by iterating and so on, at the end, by iterating, you should be able to modify it up to 1 minute or 4 to 5 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. This one is either you remove some of the information that you feel not that relevant anymore or not so important for the 1 minute and so on. Okay, so let's us proceed. So what is actually answer? Number one is actually attention. It's an opening to capture your audience interest. It is an attention grabber. This is number one. We should have an attention grabber. Okay, whatever it is we talk to people, there must be a way for us to grab attention. So we will go into that. Okay, some people they like directly to go in the second level, which is actually we call it need. Okay, the lady also mentioned need. Need is very very important because this is where you identify important customer need. Okay, so this one we call it problem or pain point. Okay, problem or pain point. Okay, and then afterwards we have solution. Okay, how to actually satisfy the need, what actually the way to solve the problem. Okay, so this is where you show the solution. Okay, the solution first you have the need, number two you have the solution. The lady just now just focus on these two, needs and solution. 1 minute you can actually have all, but the lady mentioned you can put needs, whatever problem that people face, you have the solution to solve it. People can actually, you can start uh, well, expecting that audience will listen to you. All right. So, but here we have more. Okay. So we have advantage. What are the advantage that establishes benefit? Okay, ANSAR. So we have advantage. Okay, so the advantage of our product actually develop, or we call it establishes the benefit. Okay, because benefit is the most important thing, but it comes out from one by one, from features, advantage, and benefit. I'll show you later. Okay, this is where people expect whatever they buy, whatever they purchase, whatever they invest into, they get a return. Okay, if you have problem, maybe you have problem with what okay, you have problem with a clog drain. So I have problem just last weekend in my wife in my bathroom. Okay, in my bathroom. So what is the problem? Is actually clog. Okay, so the solution can be many. Okay, the easiest one is just to call people to solve it lah. But I have a solution which actually common, is very common. Okay, just use hanger. Okay, just use hanger, coil it. Okay, like a screw. Okay, put it inside and pull it out, and you can remove almost anything. So you imagine the advantage of what I do is you don't have to spend money. Okay, so the benefit is no need to buy anything new. Okay, so just use those metal hanger, not the plastic hanger, metal hanger. Okay, whatever it is that you have at home. But if you don't have it, then of course you need to buy, or maybe you can ask your neighbor who has actually disposed it. So you imagine that is very very simple. What do you call, I use to solve the problem. I have identified problem, how to solve the problem, and return. And the other one, and normally people sometimes if they have time they will share, is about rival. Okay, rival is where you are talking about your competitor. Okay, so why your solution is better? Okay, why your solution is better than other people? Okay, compared to other people. All right. And then, of course, the last one is so what? So what is actually what you expect to be the next step? This is actually call to action or request. Okay. After you have all the pitch from attention grabbing, needs, solution, advantage, rival, you will ask, okay, can I meet you? Can we meet somewhere? Can you spend some time with me so that I can actually explain more about it? Okay. So if you have the 1 minute, let's say, it can go up after they agree on the 1 minute, you can go to the 4 to 5 minutes, let's say, to grab a coffee. Okay, let's grab a coffee and then I can talk more about this product or whatever it is I'm trying to propose to you. Okay, so this is the page structure. Very easy to remember. Okay. All right. So what are the explanation for every each of it? Number one, actually the need. So this is very, very important because any okay there are so many students actually comes to UTMX site to actually talk about the idea. Okay, so it's always, sir, I have this idea. This idea is way I can do something, something, something. Okay, there's a lot. Okay, but one thing about the idea that is lacking is they don't actually have some specific needs to solve. Lacking in needs to solve. Okay, so the needs normally is a problem, pain, what they call pain that is being confronted by someone. Short-term pain, long-term pain, it doesn't matter, but you have some data on it, some evidence on it, okay, some statistics on it, okay. So this is where needs is very important, because if we don't have this need, okay, it's very, very challenging to actually convince people. People say, oh, you have a very good solution, but what specific needs can you actually solve? Which one is your target problem? Okay. So number two is solution. S is actually the starting point for many activities, because when we talk about needs, the second one we always talk about solution. Okay, how is your solution? How your solution works? What is your solution? Show the solution and how does it work? The mechanics of it. Okay, so solution can be many. I will show you later. It can be in terms of product, services. And some people just put process, flow charts, and so on. Okay, some companies, they improve processes. Okay, so this is also a solution. Okay, and then the other one is advantage. Okay, so it's advantage is where we kick off the innovative element of the idea of the solution. Where this is where uniqueness kicks in. So when you talk about advantage, it's actually establishes benefit. From the advantage is establishes benefit. Actually, there are three things happening in advantage. FAB, features, advantage, and benefit. Okay, I will show you in our slides later on when we go deeper. FAB. Okay, features, advantage, benefit. You can remember lah. FAB, the 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 soap, not the soap, the power detergent, detergent that we use to what they call to clean our clothes. Fab, FAB. I don't know. I think maybe the product is still available. Fab. Okay, and then rivals. Rivals is where you list down the competitor. Okay, what are the features or advantage and benefit they have. Okay, and compared to your solution. So this is where people can actually understood. The audience will understand whether you have done your homework. Your homework. You have done a good kind of study to actually understand who is your competitor. Okay, the what they call the ecosystem, and also who are the team. That means if you are a football player, football team, you have another football team, right? So you know, in your kampong, in your village, or in your area, it's not only you, they are the people. Okay, this is where is very important. Okay, so if you look at many presentation, if you look at many presentation, either it's 1 minute pitch, okay, 1 minute pitch that I show you just now, or a presentation of slide deck, pitch slide deck, we call it pitch slide deck. In those presentation, okay, we can always see the solution talk so much directly. In a presentation, they will always see, okay, we have this product, this is the thing that we have been developing, and this is the strength of the product. So they are talking about the solution themselves, but very, very small number of needs are mentioned. For example, they don't actually talk. They are 1 million people who are, for example, they are based on Penjana data, it is expected 850,000 people will be unemployed in the end of 2020. Okay, so that is actually a data when they say about need. Okay, so then you go into solution, then you go into advantage and rival, and most of presentation they don't actually even talk rival. Okay, they don't even talk rival, they don't actually say about people who are doing. But you imagine in the audience mind, either they are investor or they are customer, they always feel like, I saw some similar product like this, I saw some similar solution like this somewhere. Why this guy is not talking about it? Okay. So it seems like the presenter is not either they are not disclosing the rival or they are not doing a good homework on that. Okay, so we need to have a proper balance and SAR in this case. Okay, so okay, this is just Nila. It's up to you. You can actually do it. I believe that many of you, of course, you have your own project. Either it's a research project, either it's a innovation project or product. Okay, you can list down. Normally, this one, if I ask my audience, it will take them 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes to write. Lah. For example, they just put their project name, very very simple one. Okay, who is actually receiving the direct benefit, the customer. Okay, why is it important to the customer? So the customer is having pain. Okay, so why is it so important? Because the pain has increased. Maybe like just now when I talk about Penjana, uh, the new stimulus package, they mentioned that there will be nearly 1 million, 850,000 Malaysians will be out of job. Okay, so but I think there's a new data coming in. Probably it's nearly 2 million will be out of job for the post-COVID. Okay, and then why now? Why is it the right time? Okay, what's the urgency? Okay, normally when we talk about idea, people always go into the customer needs and also specific customer and what are the needs. Okay, but seldom put why. Why? Oh, hold on. I see one question. Hold on, I lost my chat. Any tips or example to grab attention? Okay, we'll go into that, but because I focus on the four first. For example, some people in presentation, they can actually uh, in their presentation they can start with a very overwhelming or a very big something, a very striking data. Okay, so some people, even when we did our pitch last time, when we won the Asian level and we got sixth place in the global level in at that time was in Seattle. My team member, she pitched, her sentence were really touching because her daughter is actually OKU. So our solution is actually to solve OKU. So she showed a picture and then she explained in a very soft and sorrow way. Okay, so the soft and sorrow way, it's way they what they call, they get attention where people start to, oh my god, something like, I can see the facial gestures among the audience. Okay, so there are many. I will show you the list. Okay, some people they sing, some people they make joke, but joke have to be very careful. Some people they don't take joke very well. They take it, yeah, because some people pitch, they expect everything to be very serious. Okay, all right. Okay, Dr. Susanna, Dr. Ani Susanna mentioned, instead of rival, maybe we can focus on smart partnership. Yes, that's true. That's true. But normally in a pitch, if we have done a good homework, okay, we can actually come out with a competitor, not competitor, competitor, competitor. That means we are cooperating with our competitor. Also can, I agree with the quadruple helix, but normally in a pitch it's too short to actually mention. Okay, all right. So hold on, what's this? Okay, so this is the need just now. Put it again. So let's go to the. Let me close this chat. Very small screen, cannot control all the interface here. All right. So firstly, when we go to the need, we have to understand who is our customer. Very, very important. So this part is very critical. So it's like understanding the customer segment. So let's say lah, I give one example. Okay. Who is the customer for cat food? Who is the customer for cat food? Aha. Okay. So we have anyone? Anyone likes cat?
Pet lovers.
Cat lovers. Okay, cat lovers, eh? All right. So Dr. Aini mentioned cat lovers. So cat lovers will be the customer. Even the cat themselves will be customer. Okay. But we have to understand, they are users, they are buyers. Okay, people who purchase, person or an entity who is purchasing the cat lover is actually the cat lovers. An entity who is actually consuming, eating it is actually the cat. Okay, so the cat actually eating or having all the delicacy lah, which is being bought by the cat lovers. All right, and yeah, hold on. Who has what need? So what are the needs that is from the perspective of cat lover? Okay, the cat lover may feel like, oh, I want to make sure that my cat is healthy. They don't bring any disease. The cat should be looking very well. No dropping of their hair and so on lah. So these are the needs from this cat lover point of view. How about the cat? Of course, the cat they wants to be always full so that they are active and so on. Okay, so that's the physiological needs of a cat where they want to eat. Okay, and there's another one. This is very interesting because this is where the Dr. Susanna mentioned just now on the rival go to smart teaching, but this is related to that. Who actually help in the supply, storing, and so on. Okay, so for example, if we are if I'm actually cat food, I purchase cat food for my cat hotel. It's a cat pet hotel. So that means I am supporting the supply. I'm actually part of what we call as an ecosystem. So this is actually ecosystem. All right. So let me just I show you the. Okay. So these are the different types of customer. Okay, that we can see. One we call it as buyer, user. Those both are customers. Okay, and ecosystem. Just now I mentioned ecosystem. Ecosystem partner is where they are aiding, they are supporting to the specific. For example, in this case, it's cat food. Okay, so for example, let's say lah, I give example a buyer who pays for the product or service in for let's say it's a medical device, the hospital owners or maybe the board of directors, okay, agree to purchase, okay, and they have purchased, so they are actually the customer, they are the buyer. The doctor and nurses, they are not buying it, they don't come out, they don't fork out money from their pocket, but they are actually using it, okay, they enjoy it. I want to put patient there, but sometimes it depends on what. Last time I put patients, patient in hospital, they don't really enjoy, okay, because they are sick. Okay lah, no problem. And then we have ecosystem partner of medical devices. So we have insurance companies, okay, insurance companies who actually maybe they have what they call, they support on some kind of, like say, medical card. They support that kind of treatment where the hospital requires to have a specific medical device. Okay. All right. And then pet food, pet owners, pet house, pet hotel, pet cafe. That's all. But I want to show one column there. This column, beneficiaries. So this one is the reason I put is because is very much related to social entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship. So in social entrepreneurship is a little bit different because they have the customer, not only customer, but beside the customer, they have what they call as beneficiaries. Okay, so whatever we do, they are a group of people, a group of an entity, a group of entities who actually get the benefit out of it. Okay, they may not be, they may not requested to pay anything, but they get the benefit. Okay, so in this case, like for the medical device, maybe the OKUs, what they call orang kelainan upaya, the elderly, okay, and then for the pet food, maybe animal adapters, animal sanctuaries, and so on. Those are the beneficiaries, okay. So I put an asterisk there. Each type of customer has their own unique needs and expected benefit. So those expected benefit is where, if we can, that is where the needs and the benefit should jive, so that we can actually capture the heart of the audience. Okay. Short exercise, but no problem. This one is to make sure that you can actually use it for your student. Okay, for the project you choose, who are the intended customer. Actually, whenever I do this, the first part is still okay. But this second exercise, audience always ask, my participants always ask their hands, hey, yeah, there are difference between buyer and user. Ecosystem partner is always people stuck. They always stuck on there because they always think like it's just from you and another guy. Okay, you and another guy lah. Okay. Okay, Dr. Azri, thank you. Okay, ada taklimat, tak apa, boleh bunuh diri. Nanti saya share dengan Rusia slide. Okay, alright. So ecosystem partner is where a lot of people miss that part. They always think about directly user, you supply to customer or user, and then you get back whatever it is, but they forget there's an ecosystem around that. Okay, so yeah, the simplest one is you can sell your phone, not phone, you can sell phone to customer. Okay, but if you still remember last time we don't have SIM card. Okay, if you sell a phone, it should be programmed by the specific telco. Okay, so the telco is actually an ecosystem. You don't have a telco, that means you don't have ecosystem, cannot use. All right, unless you buy a radio amateur device. Okay, so you buy a radio amateur device, like people call it walkie-talkie, you still can use without ecosystem partner lah, in this case. All right. Okay, is it okay until now? Okay. Okay. So I'll proceed. All right. This is a video also, but I will play. I think I will explain to you because it's nice. Of course, maybe you weren't able to hear. Okay. Actually, this is a story by one guy. He's doing research in Cambodia. Okay. So his name is Charles, Mr. Charles. Okay. So he did a study. He went to Cambodia. He found that there's a problem of anemia among the Cambodian community. Okay, so there's a lot of problem from this way. People who couldn't go to school, they feel lethargic, they don't have energy, and so on. Of course they are not healthy, and 2 out of 3 children are anemic. So what he did, he actually used a metal, okay, because the metal can actually provide ferrum, so that it can be absorbed to the body, so that they can actually reduce the anemic problem. So he used this iron, and then what he did, he proposed the iron to be put in their cooking pot. Okay. So what happened? He's thinking of putting the chunk of iron in the pot, and then he's trying very much to collect as many of this iron all over, okay, and then bring it to almost every home. Did the experiment, but no one were actually interested to use. Okay, so they saw it like, I'm not interested to put it in the because it's very ugly. Okay, but they're using it for other things lah. Okay. Okay, and then he started to go deeper. And he found out that there's another issue. he actually found a good way of showing how to present the metal. Okay, so this metal now he put it in the shape of fish. Okay, so this shape of fish is actually a very good sign for the Cambodian people because it carries happiness and so on, prosperity. So now they willingly to use the metal, but it should be in the shape of fish to put it in the pot. Okay, so it's very successful because they get a very fast results on this. So if you are interested, you can actually go into the it's a Lucky Ironfish project, okay, supported by Google, and then you can check the more information about it. Okay, so he tried very much to identify the important customer needs. So the important customer needs, you see, is way the customer really care or have a very huge, or we call it significant problem. Okay, so in this case, he go directly to the pain point, of the problem, and then it is a very high priority in this case because the community is very lethargic. They don't have actually good health. They are what we call anemic and so on. And he's trying to find something quick. Of course, it took him time to understand more because this is not only about a direct solution to a problem, a health problem. It's also a societal and custom culture issues that he has to tackle. So in this case, the quick and effective solution rather than using a vitamin, he wants to develop a painkiller. Lah. We always say that we want to find painkiller instead of vitamin. Okay. So he's looking into iron deficiency. Two of three children are anemic. Okay, it's very big. This is 70%. Up to 70% are anemic. Then there are many negative consequences. The children didn't go to school and so on. So all these are the pain, the what you call the effect of the problem. And he also have studied the cultural and social acceptance. Urgent. Okay. And the other one is it's a large market or high impact. Okay. So those are the kind of customer needs that he studied. Okay, so as for us, if we want to do pitching, we need to do this study. We need to have a proper understanding of what are the customer needs. Okay, so that we can actually know. Okay, what kind of solution to give. But before we give the solution, we need to go very deeply on the customer needs. Okay, so where do we actually find customer needs? Okay, so we know very generally we collect data and customers. Okay. Okay, we also try and observe his or her the customer environment. We interview customer also, okay, and we co-create with customer. So this is where we synergize with customer. So there are several. I don't know if you notice, some summer service center, when they do troubleshooting with your car, they actually request the customer to be together. uh, let's say riding with the car and so on, so that the customer can actually use the customer because the customer knows it's his car, it's his vehicle. Okay, so they go together, ride the car together, and then the customer will actually tell them specific points what is the problem. There are noise over here. They are when it is driven this way, there will be some fume or some smell comes out, and so on. So this is where they can actually, we call it co-create with customer. So if the service provider, the service provider for car maintenance can work with the customer indirectly, the customer actually didn't know because the customer feel very happy to actually share because of course the reason is to solve the problem. Okay, so this kind of things normally helps. And there's another one, of course, don't forget, just simply start with Google search. Okay, so this is where you can find customer needs. Even those kind of needs with statistics and so on is very important because and I normally see people pitch they don't actually put a good uh, quantitative evidence or numbers. Okay, so this creates like lacking in confidence in presentation. So your audience or your investor, for example, customer, expect something that is can be measurable. So if we don't have the numbers, that means it's just something that couldn't be measured, right? So this part we call it as market validation exercise lah. So the market validation is very very important. Okay, we need to get feedback. The simplest one will be the first one there. Simply start with Google search, which is secondary data. Right? So, like for example, market analysis. This is an example of grow light. US grow light market. They use this grow light for hydroponic urban farming, in-house farming. Okay, because every color has different wavelength, and every wavelength different wavelength is required by the plants to grow. Okay, in the 24 hours, within 24 hours, they require different wavelength. So in this case, no sleeping for the plants, no sleeping for the plants, so the plants can actually grow. So this is a grow light market by technology, 2014 to 2025 market analysis. These kind of things are very very important when we actually want to do to show some kind of market needs. All right. So there are two market validation. I add this one. I recently add this one because there's a lot of people asking the different kind of market validation. Yeah. Some people they just go and ask question. Is this okay? Is this good? Will you buy it from me? And so on. Okay. And then they claim that is market validation. Yeah, they are actually of course subset of that. But either it is good. Okay. I found there are two things. How quickly can you do an experiment to get the market validation? Okay. And the other one, how strong is the evidence? So these two are very, very important. So this is a slide. This is a picture from my mentor, my guru, Alex Osterwalder. So he mentioned that there are one is either you go to strong evidence or you go to weak evidence. Okay? So weak evidence is always, for example, you ask people using survey. Okay, those simple, very simple survey, very simple, not those very deep kind of survey. All right, and then if you go to strong evidence and let's say strong evidence, you need to develop up to the real product, real product, and then selling the real product in the market to test. So a good example is like the crowdfunding platform or crowdfunding model, where the product is already there. So the features, the advantage, everything, the pitching is there. Maybe just like 2 or 3 minutes video, and people start to actually fund some money there based on the pledge. Okay, sometimes it's go beyond, sometimes it's less. So less is considered as unsuccessful. If it goes beyond, it's very successful. Okay, we have our student, even Chabi Sense, who actually a mentee of Dr. Yong. They actually managed to get 200 over percent funding from their pledge. That means very big. And now the product has gone to, if I'm not mistaken, 60 countries. And now they are going to open up a marketing chain in Japan. Okay, so of course, to come up to the level of that crowdfunding, it took them years. Okay, I heard it's around nearly more than 18 months to do that. Okay, and then a short time and long time to set up and conduct the experiment. It depends on, these two. There's a paradox between this. If you want to, there's a trade-off between this. If you want to go into the strong evidence and long, you want to get very very good, it should require a long setup time to conduct that. All right. Okay, Dr. Aini asking, for new invention, who or anyone expert can help on validation of data in UTM? Okay, ICC has a what they call ICC has a team which they work closely with industry. Okay, so mostly they are focusing on lecturers or researchers staff in and so on. For in UTMX side, we normally do students in this idea. So we also train students on how to do validation. For example, the train and test, train and test. Okay, validation using using lean methodology. Okay, we also do that. It's a simple. It's actually the fastest one because the reason to go into that model is to get a good feedback faster rather than to develop longer whatever engineering or maybe innovative technology stuff that you want to develop. We don't want you to spend time on development without feedback and later on it's not being accepted by a market and so on. All right. So, okay, number two, crowdfunding, does it mean a product? There are several models. Dr. Awani, there are several models. Some of the model actually gives you equity. Okay. So, give the person equity. So, so those kind of equity is actually considered, but you have to buy in bulk. Dr. Yong just recently he kicked off into that. So into that what do you call he worked with Pitch In. Pitch In is a crowd pitching platform in Malaysia. So Pitch In actually requested advised him to actually go into uh, it's not crowdfunding like you want to purchase only one product, but there are quantum of investment that you have to put in. Okay, Dr. Fauzan asking, Faizwan asking, which of the commercialization model is better, licensing or spin-off company? Oh, generally, it's very difficult to say which one is better. If you go into spin-off company, that means somebody, maybe you and your team should be actually managing the company. Okay, so you have to consider management. But if you go into licensing only, that means those what they call those IP that have been licensed that are used for licensing, you can actually have some payment from the company who is interested to use your product. Okay, so they just pay license to you, and you don't have to think of doing the rest of the what they call like running a company. Running a company is very very difficult. I mean very different. If you want to get the licensing go into a spin-off, yeah, I think we can ask. If I'm not mistaken, there are 39 active spin-off company now. I was informed 2 days ago. 39 spin-off company who is actually active in UTM under ICC, and then they you can actually interview them how they feel running a company. Okay, so the running a company, of course, we expect more influence because you have more control on your product. Licensing is way, yeah, you just get maybe a payment for, it depends on the agreement, maybe 1 year or 5 years. Okay, and don't forget royalty. Okay, licensing normally comes with royalty based on the based on the sales of your product. Yeah, I know that Dr. Susanna, weakness of researchers when I chat or being about the validation part. I think the validation is very important because even if we do research, they are the part of problem formulation. Okay, we do when we what is considered as a good problem statement. For example, underlying it, there must be a lot of homework related to development of or formulating a good problem. Okay, because it requires a very strong pain. Okay, it's not just merely looking at, no one has ever done that before, I want to do that. Okay, there are reason why people don't never do that. Okay, there are reason for that we don't actually know, so somebody has to go and understand why people don't go into that specific detail or specific problem. There are reason for that. Okay, so the other one is what you call like a researcher. Normally we need to get this kind of basic so that whatever that we intend to actually produce, it should come from a good needs. We call it a pain point. All right. Okay. I hope, inshallah lah. I think bit by bit we can the what do you call statistic of the needs and so on from our either secondary data from Google or maybe you do primary data meeting with people. Okay, let's continue. So this is just example lah. So normally some data that you get, normally the needs. I normally requested my participants to identify the needs. Okay, probably through statistic, news, complaints, story, media, and so on. So many. So for us as a researcher, normally maybe media is not so strong. Maybe it's just one or two, but mostly coming from academic writing, journals, and so on. In what they call mixing, understanding the data from different perspective will be very good. Okay, so what data do you have on this? So that is very important. So what data? You still remember Sungai Kim Kim case? Okay, Sungai Kim Kim case. The data is really almost every day lah. Okay, and then in UTM Excite we conducted a program we call YSEALI, YSEALI. We got two companies came in who gave a real business case to solve. One company came from it's a I forget the name of the company, but they are actually looking from how to take care of rivers. Okay, so at the end of the day, they come out with a good business case. So that's why the business case is very important for us as a researcher or as a entrepreneur, because we can actually understand how that problem, a problem, specific problem, can be formulated until it becomes a case, pain, a real pain faced by someone, some entity or some company. Okay, right. So needs, okay, solution. Okay, solution is where starting point for most activity I already mentioned. So after you have your needs solution, okay. So how to solve problem? So the solution is where you demonstrate your product features and value to customer. Okay, so we present our solution. It can be from videos, pictures, mechanic of how it works, screenshots, interface, prototype. It depends. Okay, so but the most important thing is when the audience look at it, they can really understand the value that you are trying to tell, because the value is solving the needs, solving the problem faced by the customer, user, buyer, and maybe ecosystem and so on. All right. So a simple one, for example, if you want to tell people, let's say you want to actually sell a pillow where the pillow won't stop your blood flowing in your arm. Okay. So it should be like this, a very simple one. People see, people know already. This is the solution. Okay? So the needs, maybe a lot of people getting cramps at night with their arms. Okay, but later on we have this kind of solution. How about problem? You have one. How can you actually fry many eggs at one time? Okay, to save time. You have a very big wok or pan, but you can only put one egg. You can put many, but maybe it doesn't look so good at the end. So it's like this. So it's very simple. It's a very simple way of showing people, because you have pictures, you have videos, how it works. It's really helpful. Okay, so this is, for example, we can talk to people about I have a lamp where the lamp can actually give different kind of light, so on, verbally, but if you show this picture to people, uh, people can start, the audience can start to understand. Oh, okay, this is what you want to develop. Yeah, it's a color LED with different colors, which support different kind of wavelength to optimize the photosynthesis for indoor grow. Okay, so okay, now I understand. So people can see it. Okay, for example, I don't know whether you have ever heard of iSynth. I think it's a Europe or maybe UK product. It's actually a spectacle, but it's for the blind. Oh, spectacle for the blind. It's very paradoxical. So spectacle for the blind is where it transfers vibration, okay, so that the blind person can actually sense, okay, obstruction. How far are they with the obstruction in front of the left or right side? Okay, so this is a product. I think it's already become a product now. Okay, so if you tell people without this, it it may not be able, you may not be able to pitch it. Oh, anyway, I just want to give a tips. When me and my team presented last time in several places, one of the thing happened. We put a video. We put a video. Okay, there are two problems, right? That means two tips lah. One is be careful when you put video in your presentation slide, your slide deck. Okay, because when you put video in your slide deck, what happened is during the presentation you may not be using your own machine. Okay, so they are less speed, so they will be lagging. Number two, you can actually convert the video into a GIF file, so that it will be it is not what is the smooth 40 frame per second, maybe it's 30 frame per second one by one, but it's still supported by very low performance machine. Okay, so otherwise you will lose. Yeah lah, people will, you start presenting very well, suddenly goes into your slide, pop, lag, people will the mood will go down. Okay, all right. So even process, Grab. Okay, I think if let's say you want to we want to show a new process, Grab is not a new process anymore. People know. If you want to introduce similar to Grab, you don't actually show all the process, right? Because if you show all the process, people will say, "Ayo, people know lah. I already know how to do the booking, how to do all this." So just identify those part which is unique compared to others. Okay, so that one will be much better. All right. So like this one, if I tell people that I develop a collapsible cup, people say, "Huh, collapsible cup?" Then you show this is using GIF. Very very simple. This is also a crowdfunding project, which is a successful crowdfunding project. So develop using it's a picture, many picture. You can actually take picture. Ask your friend to do it. Take picture, maybe 20 pictures, and then every picture combined, it will become GIF. So it's not so smooth, but people understand the meaning of it. So the mechanics of how the solution works is very important. Okay, so normally I will request audience to actually do what kind of how do you want to explore or demonstrate your solution. Okay, so this kind of things, it depends on different kind of products or services. Some products, some services, some platform. Okay, so those require, this is where we have we call it also a prototype lah, but the prototype can be a picture prototype. Okay, maybe a video, very short video, or maybe it's an animation prototype. So those are the things that can be shown, or you can actually show in your solution. All right, I proceed. Any question? Just kacau me. Just interrupt me. Okay, so the third one is actually advantage. ANSA advantage. So advantage is actually the innovative elements of an idea. So advantage is actually in the middle of these three words, FAB. Okay, so features will derive advantage. Advantage will establish benefit. So if you look here, the benefit is always from the customer perspective. So features and advantage normally from the product or the service perspective, but the advantage from the customer perspective. So for example, features, what the product has. Normally specification. Advantage, why is it helpful? Number three, the benefit, the end result delivered to user. So the user will get something out of it, which if you still remember, advantage is always about the return and payment. Either in Malay they call it berbaloi atau tak berbaloi. Okay, whether worth purchasing something, because either it brings benefit to you or not. Okay? Maybe all the features and advantage are very very good, but you still don't want it because you are not the person who wants it. For example, maybe some of us are still using the old phone, not the smartphone, the dumb phone. So everything, this one, smartphone has a lot of feature, very good spec, quad-core, octa-core, 6 or maybe 16 gigabyte, 128 gigabyte of RAM and ROM. It's very advantageous because you can keep a lot of pictures, blah blah blah. But the guy say, it's not beneficial to me because I couldn't my eyes got problem, I prefer something that has keypad. Okay, like my mom last time. I'm not interested. I want to use only the one with keypad. Okay, because they can feel the keypad. All right. Okay, so this is some example. Fabulous, macam Fabu lah. Fabulous product value. Reusable grocery bag. The feature, the bag is double stitch. Advantage, the bag is stronger. Benefit, you can carry more in one bag without fear of bursting, fear of koyak lah. All right. Racing bike, carbon fiber frame, vibration from road bumps are dampened. Your ride will be more comfortable. These are the kind of what they call very clear features, advantage, benefit. Okay. Of course, your features you already mentioned in your solution, but here you talk about the advantage and benefit. Okay, I go further. What time is it now? Oh, 10:29. Okay, I need to go. Yeah, because I need to open for Q&A also. So this is also an example. Russell Hobbs 3-in-1 hand blender. The features is the tech spec, what it does. Okay. The advantage is what the tech spec do better. They're more powerful rather than 200 watt. They are more powerful. Okay. In actually long lasting because I have my Philips. Now I purchased the 400 over watt. I purchased 2013 when I opened my shop. Last time I have so many. Okay, a few for blending and so on. So I still have it with me now. It's a good 400 watt and it's very strong. Okay, it's not like the 200 watt where you use it, maybe you can last mostly if you're lucky, it's 2 years. Okay, benefit is just workload, time saving, it won't break easily. Okay, or this one is special, less clutter. Okay, all right, less clutter and stylish. Of course, this one I don't have this. I have a small one for making my what they call what is it? I forgot already. Ariana, making the what? Coffee, whipped cream, not whipped cream. To make it creamier, put whipped cream and then I forgot the name of the shake, the small shake that we have. Okay, not like this. This is so expensive. The one I get was actually free. All right. Okay. So normally I also requested my audience to actually put the features, advantage, and benefit. The features they copy directly from what they have in their solution. Okay, and then later on, the advantage and benefit they can actually list out. All right. Okay, rival. Okay, rival is why your solution is better, and then to make sure that people know that even we are doing our homework, it's not only telling people that we have. Okay, so in research we call it. Okay, good. You have done a good literature on that. Okay, so a literature review is where you understand, of course, what are what are the similar problem that you are facing, and what are the people approach towards that, whether they have come out with a good approach and they have solved it, maybe half quarter or maybe fully optimize it. If they have solved it, then you don't have any chance anymore. Okay, but if they try to solve it but they couldn't solve it and you found another way, so you have a good people call it gap. Okay, research gap there. Okay, so I call it a significance lah. Significance later on it will be contribution towards your study of if it's a research. So it's quite similar, but it's just a different name. Okay. All right. So rival also known as alternative. So everyone has rival. Every product has rival. Okay. So we have to understand who and what we are up against. Okay. And one very important thing is because we are now globally connecting all over the world, cross border, beyond border, and so on. So when we do this kind of analysis, this rival or competitive analysis, we don't do only for Malaysia. We also try to get at least Asian or at least some country which uh, consider as our maybe benchmark and so on. Okay, so we go into similar product. Okay, I tell you, so if you look here, rivals also known as alternative. Many these are if you go to the shop, you can people always say I'm going to buy Colgate, but when they come back they don't buy Colgate, they buy Fresh and White, Aqua Fresh, and so on. So that is actually why I mentioned that, because everything is actually considered as Colgate. but people purchase a different product lah, different brand. So in this case, it's a similar product or service. So you have similar. So if, for example, last time we have Grab, Uber. If in states we have Uber, Lyft, and so on. So those are similar product and service. Similar, like people say, compare apple to apple lah. People say like that. The other one is alternative method to achieve the same results. It may not be it may not be the same, okay, but it's similar. For example, I don't know whether have used this one. Last time I used the what they call baking soda, okay, actually as a replace substitute for toothpaste. So our grandparents, my grandparents, sometimes they use this. Even the coconut oil, okay, they use it. And even they use the tebu. Tebu is what? Tebu apa? English? Sugar cane. No, sorry, sugar cane. Sugar cane. You know, the stick of the sugar cane. Okay, once they bite it and then they actually absorb all the sweetness and so on. They use it to scrub their teeth. Okay, so that's an alternative. So rivals also an alternative. It doesn't mean that people have to use the same. For example, if you buy, if you like mango, you like vitamin C. Okay, you want to get vitamin C, you can get vitamin C from apple, from orange, from even from this. Okay, no problem. You can get from Redoxon or whatever it is. So there's a different alternative because I don't like to go and buy orange. I don't like the taste. So never mind. You can go and get the Redoxon and make water for you. Okay. And the other one is the strongest rival is actually apathy. Apathy is where people don't really care. So if you're selling toothpaste, whatever it is, the guy is not doesn't care about toothpaste. Why? Because maybe he don't want to brush his teeth. He didn't care at all. Okay, so this group of people require a lot of awareness. So you have to get the pain point out of them, so that you can actually talk to them. So this, if the group is really small and so on, normally I will ask my students to just forget them because it's too small market. So you spend a lot of time on that. It's not so good. You have to go to the bigger total addressable market, we call it. All right. So apathy option of not doing anything. They don't brush their teeth. They don't use toothpaste. They don't use whatever it is. Okay. So don't be their friend. Okay. So a simplest one to do is to come up with a simple table like this. So we have our features sometimes up to the level of benefit and so on. We list down and then we put whatever it is our competitor. We call it our rival there, and then we actually tick or untick or maybe none or whatever not available. We put it there so that to show in a snapshot. Okay, in a snapshot that we understand our rival, we know what is the advantage of what they have and so on, and what are the disadvantage. Okay, so rival analysis requires more time, but anyway, normally in a class I don't actually ask them to do many rivals. I ask them to identify very maybe just two. Okay, so once they got the way of developing this table and so on, they can actually get more. They started to become okay. Now I understand. I go and get more and more what they call competitor for this. Right. Okay, so uh, just any question? No question, eh? Right. Okay. So this is what they call a sentence, right? If let's say uh Dr. Hawani just now, tips or examples to grab attention. Let's say if I give you a simple way to gain 500 ringgit a week legally and without affecting your study time, would you be interested? Okay. All right. So these are the things that people normally try to hook. They will use similar like this. So this is actually a hook phrase, attention grabbing phrase. All right. Of course, interested. This one student, lecturer also interested. Okay. So of course interested. So if let's say if I add another sentence down there, I ask another sentence, I put another sentence down there. If I give you a simple way to gain 500 ringgit a week legally without affecting your study time, would you be interested? Please raise your hand. Oh, suddenly they raise your hand. Okay. And that is actually call to action because we ask them to raise their hand. They will raise their hand and then wait outside the class after this lecture. So that is actually a call to action. So hook, and then we can have call to action. So hook is actually the attention grabber just now. The call to action is the last part. So what? Okay, let me show how it looks like. Because we have ANSARS. A is attention grabber. So we have needs, solution, advantage, rival. The last one is so what. So what is the call to action? Okay, like this. What did I just do? It's an attention puller. So many. Example, evoke a suspense, tell a story, surprising statistic, quotation. Some people they like to say a quotation. Yesterday I got a very good quotation. My Dr. Razak mentioned. If you go faster, you get shorter. If you go faster, you will get shorter time. Maybe something like that. Maybe it's not complete. So I was like, I was thinking, that is actually a good attention grabbing. So I was thinking on that specific phrase. Okay. All right. So begin with the joke, startling statement, visual aid. Okay. You imagine if you are selling some product that can heal diabetic wound, for example. So you put a picture of people who has must be very graphic picture of wound developed from diabetic. I don't want to say it will cut your appetite. All right. So even if in the what they call a short sentence, I have a simple 1, 2, 3 method that are proven to help you get. For example, I have a simple 1, 2, 3 method that are proven to get your research proposal accepted. Of course, people. Oh, okay, I want to hear. So that is actually a hook attention grabber. So okay, closing. This is the closing because we call it so what. It's the one just now. Call to action. So when you I will open all. When you have your attention, needs, solution, advantage, rival, and SAR as so what. So what is actually so what? What is next? Okay. So normally, can we meet up tomorrow to talk about the project? Just now I mentioned, what if you can earn 500 ringgit legally without affecting your study? Are you interested? Please raise your hand. They raise their hand. Meet me after class. Raise hand and meet me after class is actually a closing phrase. But you imagine, I don't actually put NSAR there. You can actually do just a open phrase and closing. But please make sure don't just talk about the open phrase and closing phrase. And when you meet them, you don't know what is the NSAR. Then people will say, yeah, this guy is really sorry. What do you call? This guy is full of BS and so on. He just say something, but when we meet, he said, yeah, nothing that he can actually convince us. Okay, because he doesn't have the need, he doesn't have the solution, he doesn't have the advantage, he doesn't have the rival. Okay, at least the needs and solution is already quite good to explain. All right. For example, here we offer you equity of 40% for 200,000 ringgit investment. This is very common for if you can actually watch Shark Tank, YouTube Shark Tank. Okay, you can see a lot of pitching. Okay, so those are Shark Tank. Shark Tank. You can YouTube it. Let's meet up at 6 p.m. today at Coffee House Sunway Putra Hotel. This was the thing last time I told my audience. Okay, what if I show you the simplest 3 minutes, simplest way to develop a 3 minutes video to win this competition? Meet me 6 p.m. today. So many people came. I couldn't entertain. Okay, so of course at the time when they came to the coffee house, okay, the coffee house is actually the tea time, the dinner time. So they come, so I have to go in the corner and then show. Okay, of course that will be part of the training because it's actually a workshop at the time. But they buy in lah. They get the buy in. First level of buy in is trust. Okay, engaging at they what they call attention grabbing, and then they start developing trust. But actually, the attention grabbing part is more on curiosity. So everything that we do is actually curiosity, especially if you're doing digital marketing. This is a pitch which is not digital pitch. How about if you do digital pitching? So it's a little bit different. So we have to do a story. We call it a teaser. We have to have a soft selling and hard selling. That one is different. Maybe next time we can do another specific digital pitch. Okay, pitch in a digital media. Okay, so it's a different than this. Okay, so at the end of the day, this is the full structure. We have the open need, the attention, the need, solution, advantage, rival, and so what next. So that is answer. Right? So this answer, okay, you cannot just stop. Just now I mentioned you can do it for 1 minute. Let's say you don't have any plan. Suddenly you meet somebody. Oh, your friend told me, hey, that's the CEO from this company. Oh, I think I want to try to. Okay, so unplanned, unprepared. I mean, unplanned to meet the guy, but you must be prepared. So you have also the 3 to 5 minutes, and the other one is 15 to 20. So if you develop based on this ANSARS, okay, it will be very comprehensive, but later on you can refine it. Okay? You can refine it so that you get what they call a concise, maybe for 1 minute, for the 4 minutes, 5 minutes, or maybe for a long. But for longer one, there's a lot of other things. Of course, in the answer is mentioned, but when you go into benefit, the benefit must have monetary, for example, the return on investment, the calculation, and so on. Okay, that one is more. We need to go more further, deeper on that. Okay, so the conclusion is for ANSA, or whatever it is pitching exercise that you do, you must repeat the process. There's no such thing as developing once and then, okay, I can use it for anyone. I can use it for any time. You have to update, you have to iterate the process and test. Okay. The other one that is very, very important is the audience will varies. The audience varies. So if you are presenting to a buyer, you must show the benefit to the buyer. If you are presenting to an investor, you must shape it, what they call engineer it, move it, whatever it is you call, design, customize it for a investor. Okay. Okay. The other one is get out of the building. We call it GOOTB, get out of the building. So get out of the building to gather more information. That means, of course, you can do your secondary data using Google, Uncle Google to actually find whatever information. But later on, you need to get out of the building, get out, stand up, get out from your room, from your chair, and meet someone real to get information. If you are talking about technology, you want to validate the technology, meet somebody expert. If you want to talk about the market, targeted your prospective customer to actually get feedback from them. Okay, so when you pitch, you're actually delivering your idea, and then people say, "Oh yeah, I like it very much, but I think the benefit is not so clear." That's a kind of thing. Okay, don't ask your friend, your family. Ha, ha, ha. We call it the FFF, family, friends, and fools. Okay, so these family, friends, and fools, of course, they are family members or friends who are very, very not hypocrite. They can actually give you a good feedback, but there are also many who are not don't have the heart to actually hurt you, to tell you about the whatever it is lacking in your presentation. Okay, we try very much going into zero assumption. Of course, we can assume, but we have to answer the assumption. Okay, like we do research, we call it hypothesis. So that kind of assumption must be answered. So we try very much. We have assumption, we answered, so it's zero. The assumption already be answered. So I always tell my student, sometimes you ask them, hey, do you think this product can work well in this climate? Maybe code, ada code belakang tu kan. So we try to remove the word maybe code. Code tu macam tak jadilah. It doesn't work that well because it's like you are not sure, you are unsure about it. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's actually practice, practice, and practice. So more practice is needed. Okay, if you have, if you want to develop a slide, just focus on maybe a minimum of 4 slides. One slide can do one. Okay, one slide can do. You put the NSAR, but I suggest you to put 4 slides. You put 4 slides and SAR. So the opening can be. It's up to you. Either you want to use the attention grabbing as another slide, the closing as another slide, or you want to use attention grabbing as a verbal and the closing also verbal. It's also okay. It doesn't. It doesn't affect a lot because the NSAR is the thing that is required. All right. So Alhamdulillah, I okay. So okay, I already at the end of my presentation. So I hope that I'm able to share whatever it is that is required to share based on the intention. So let's open for any question, answers, comments. Okay, so that I can maybe improve my presentation, my slides, and so on. Don't forget, I will share my slide with you and all the link to the video. Okay. Any question you can Dr. Tarik, Dr. Ali Tarik, Do Itashimashite. Any question can put it in the chat or you want to say something, you can unmute your mic. Okay. How many minutes we have? We have another 10 minutes. Yeah. Thank you. Welcome, Dr. Rosita, Dr. Habibah. Welcome. Thank you, Dr. Gantan, Dr. Anita. Thank you very much. You're most welcome. Okay, make sure you have Dr. KJ, thank you. Sorry, Dr. JB. Thank you, Dr. JB. Okay, how to, Dr. Rosita asking question. How to counter for people who always cut or interrupt during our pitching? Oh, okay. This is interesting. Uh, when you pitch, you must have a goal. You must have a goal. So, for example, if my pitch is, let's say, to ask for the person to meet me for a further explanation. Okay, so that is my goal. I will always try to go into that goal. Okay, so but of course, if the person, especially if there are many 2 or 3 person who is listening, there always be one person who likes to cut, interrupt. If it's an informal pitch, yes, they normally can interrupt if we pitch in an elevator or somewhere else and so on. But if it is a formal pitch, normally they don't do interruption. Okay, because they allow you to go through with the pitching 3 or 4 minutes or 5 minutes pitch. Okay, so this short normally the informal pitch, they will actually show what are the what they call the interruption, which normally they don't either the person is not the benefit doesn't he doesn't actually feel it, or normally he doesn't understand the problem, so the pain point is not clearly mentioned because people start to me myself frankly speaking, if people pitch but they couldn't actually show the problem that is faced, okay, that is faced by faced through the proposal given, to the pitch given, for example statistics, they will interrupt. They will say, okay, I don't think there's any problem with this. I don't think the problem is really big because no such thing as vanilla, no such thing as clear identification. But anyway, Dr. Rosita, we have to identify where they start to interrupt. Where they start to interrupt. Okay. So normally, listen to me first. Yeah, normally no such thing as listen to me. For example, last time I was involved in national level sales lah. National sales. So we were trying to and actually I gave brochure in Giant when I gave brochure. So this guy who took my brochure, he just took the brochure and then he crumpled and throw it. Okay, it's okay lah. It's understood because when we give brochure, we expect people to read. It's like 0.08 cents. Sorry, yes, $0.08, around 8 cents one brochure. 8 cents. They just throw it lah. But I had this experience where people crumple it in front of me and throw it to my face. Okay, so it's a rejection. So that kind of things is actually something like a rejection. So I normally I just say thank you, and then if they are alone, normally they will keep on that way. But if they come with partner, normally one of the partner, maybe the wife or maybe the husband who is soft enough, they will come back and then start asking, actually, what you do, something like that. So then you can actually explain lah. So at the end of the day, what is the goal that you want to achieve? Because if you are presenting to many, of course, like Shark Tank, you go and take Shark Tank, 5 people, for example, or 4 people. Not everyone will reject you. Not everyone will interrupt. Okay, so you have the opportunity to get from the other people. And also presentation, like I mentioned just now, one of the article I read, but you should be natural. Some people, they don't like our chemistry. Okay, we don't have chemistry. They don't feel the chemistry. They feel, I don't like this guy because, frankly speaking, if you're presenting to the 10 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, and sometimes they ask also for the 5 minutes, you have to put your organization chart. Who are the people within your company? So this is where they start to find, this team doesn't match. You have chosen a wrong matching partner, okay, in the team and so on. All right, I hope I'm answering your question. Oh, Dr. Susanna asking. Okay, yeah, betul. Pitch for 5 minutes, not allowed to interrupt. Because for 5 minutes, normally if it's a formal one, we don't allow lah for interruption. But if it's an informal, let's say you meet, you meet someone in a cafe and so on. But Dr. Susanna asking a very important question. How many percent successful cases after applying ANSA? Dr. Susanna, originally it was from NABC SRI. If I'm not mistaken, we spend millions, UTM spend millions of dollars to have the SRI. Sanford Research Institute is a company, it's a spin-off company from Sanford. They came and they actually trained during Dato Sri Zaini last time as our Vice Chancellor. And if I'm not mistaken, we actually, from researcher, I have one slide last time, from researcher point of view, who actually used NABC, last time NABC, needs benefit per cost and competition. So it's like NSAR also. They manage more than 30% return, 30% or 30 million return. Okay, because there are a lot of closing, particularly on research pitch, innovation pitching, and I consider it's quite high. And Dr. Yong is one of the person who is a believer in NABC. NABC and also NSAR is nearly the same. So, but we need to change to another name now so that it's not taking the NABC itself. So we modify a little bit. So if I answer you from NABC, yes, we have a lot of very high success story, and that even it becomes quite a very structured and very simple way of explaining compared to, let's say, if you pitch using business model canvas or lean canvas. All right. All right, Dr. Arifah, no problem. Okay, so maybe one more question. It's already 11. Okay, Prof Fahrul, thank you very much. Okay, siapa lagi siapa lagi? Ada question lagi boleh ask. Okay, Dr. Zarina, Dr. Razwan, thank you. Dr. Ahmad Humaizi, thank you. Dr. Ahmad Humaizi ni banyak bisnes ni. Okay, boleh tanya. Alright. Dr. Fitri pun sama. Dr. Fitri banyak idea ni. Banyak macam-macam Dr. Suzana, good, very good in getting feedback, particularly in policy and so on. Okay. Yeah, for formal pitching. Yeah. So informal pitching, it's really something that is what we need is practice. We practice and we can actually take the idea. Okay. Alright. Dr. Kamarul Zaman, tak boleh nak isi borang penilai khusus. Boleh lah, boleh tanya host tanya organizer Dr. JB. Okay, Dr. Normal, thank you Dr. Normal. Dr. Normal is our AHIPS incubator, MBA incubator coordinator. They just completed a few engagement, okay, for pitching. So very good. Okay, Dr. Shaliza, thank you. All right. Okay, so if no more question, I like to Dr. Sarina. Dua projek dah cuba komersialkan tapi masing-masing tak dapat sambutan. Okay, kena tengoklah Dr. Sarina apa sebab dia. Okay, adakah mungkin the good project is good tapi mungkin it didn't the pitching part ke, the conveying the idea tak sampai ke the right person. Okay, so sambutan tu boleh banyak lah, sambutan daripada investor, sambutan daripada you punya partner, business partner, prospect business partner or maybe customer. Alright. So kalau tak ada apa-apa lagi, I like to thank you everyone for being with me for 2 hours and I'm very sorry for the video glitch. Okay, but no problem. I will actually share with you the link. I will give it to the organizer so that you can play it again lah. You boleh tengok sendiri so that you can get whatever it is. Okay, so very much to all. Okay, thank Dr. Adriana, also Dr. An. Thank you. So jumpa lagi. Okay, Dr. Rajita, thank you. So wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So I pass it to the host, Sabrina. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Zaidi, for interesting and useful tips for all of us. I'm sure in future UTMD will invite Dr. Zaidi for more courses and talks.
InsyaAllah.
Dr. Zaidi is also one of our speaker for M4E course. Okay, thank you very much, Doctor.
Most welcome. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Farul, for joining us also. And I would like to thank all the audience and hope to see you all again in the future in our upcoming courses. Okay, with that, I thank you very much once again. And I end with wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Sabrina, I will email to you the slide and the
link for the video.
Boleh No
Okay.
problem. Nanti I email sekejap lagi.
Okay, thank you very much, Doctor.
Alright, I pun nak pergi office ni.
Okay, alright. Thank you.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Good luck, Doctor.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.